and welcome to Stand and Watch, the best dad movie podcast and only dad movie podcast that you are ever going to listen to because we killed all the other ones. I am your host, Matt.
I'm your other host, Nick.
And we have a guest today. That's right, we're professionals.
Yeah, that's right. First guest ever.
Yeah, we promised our friend he'd be the first guest ever, but suck it, Johnny.
Just like my dad, we're breaking promises.
It's the most dad
I feel
thing.
so honored.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have a movie to promote, so he can suck it.
And Amanda's paying us each
Great.
$100 to do this, so we figured it was cool.
That's right. And actually, we're sleeper agents for David Zaslav. We're going to cancel her movie, even though he had nothing to do with it.
I was at a wedding and someone tried to tell me that he was a mensch, and I was like, no, I don't think so. Fuck no.
Someone
No.
was trying to tell you that
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Zaslav,
Yeah.
really good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy.
Really good guy. And I was like, really? Really? You want to talk about all the shit he's done at WB? Really good guy?
Oh my God.
I don't fucking know.
David Zaslav. Latest crime, not releasing Clint Eastwood's maybe final movie to more than 50 theaters.
Yep.
It's only in
living in a
50
flyover
theaters.
state. I'm not going to get to see it.
Even the theater I go, my local theater always has like the limited release movies. Not even there.
It's playing by me, but I live in New York City, right by a Nighthawk cinema.
I hope a piano
Wait, it's
falls
called
on it.
Nighthawk Cinema?
Yeah, there's a cinema, I don't want to call it a chain because there's only two, called Nighthawk Cinema. There's one in Williamsburg and one in Park Slope. It's my go-to theater.
Is it like what's their special, like, is there a special thing about Nighthawk or?
It's like an Alamo Draft House, but even a little cooler.
Okay.
They have their own kind of, so they don't really, they'll do maybe one or two movie previews before, but they do their own kind of curated movie clips and previews themed for whatever movie you're going to see.
I like that.
And yeah, and like Alamo, they have a menu and they have themed drinks and things for the movies. They do a lot of retrospectives. So I saw Fatal Attraction in 35mm there, and it was like 10 at night in a snowstorm. So you knew that everyone who trekked out to see that movie, they knew what they were in for, and they were there for that movie because it is a film audience. So it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good it's a good crowd.
I want more of that. We don't have enough of that out here in St. Louis. It's just, hey, do you want to? Hey, we have like 10 theaters and they're all playing Minions 4 at the same time. This is what you get. Which, you know, I'm a dad, so like, cool, that works out for me. But yeah, I want more film. They only do the special showings are always like, hey, you want to watch this kids movie from the mid 2000s? We've got you. Those are the special retro showings we get.
Oh no, they do. Yeah, they do good stuff at Nighthawk. I'm so sad I missed when they did Roadhouse. I'm a really big Roadhouse fan, the original, not the remake. I am a diehard fan of the Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott at his peak sexiness movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is actually
He's got great hair in that movie.
Neo-Western. It is a hill I will die on that it is actually a really smart movie.
I've never seen either, and I think I need to fix that.
You're a dad and you haven't seen Roadhouse?
I have. I mean, I've only been a dad for like the last 4 years. So
I'm not a
got
dad,
time.
and I've seen both.
Okay, well,
It's
you know
from
what?
1989.
Matt, your dad's a cinephile, okay?
He's not actually. He might be though.
I haven't seen the new one.
He called me crazy when I told him I'd never seen Field of Dreams. He said, "What's
Well,
wrong
now
with you?"
Why have you not seen it? Why is this movie on your wheel?
Every time.
Did we officially introduce Amanda? I don't remember hearing us saying Amanda's name.
I feel like we were about to, and then we started talking about movie theaters.
Nighthawk. It's her fault for introducing me to Nighthawk.
It's just, you know what? It's just our classic. We get off track. That's what you
We
come
do
here
get off
for.
track.
We get off track. Okay, our guest this week is Amanda Jane Stern. She has a movie out now on Tubi and Amazon Prime. Tell us about your movie.
Hi. Yeah, it's called Perfectly Good Moment. It is a 2-character psychosexual revenge thriller about a couple named Ruby and David who have been together on and off for 8 years. When they met, she was 19 and he was 34. It's 8 years later, and she's back with more than just a reunion in mind.
Okay, so it's good you came on for Men and not for Con Air.
Yes. I love Con Air though.
You picked a good episode.
Oh, you do love
know.
Con Air? Oh,
I love Con Air.
we
Oh,
did not
no.
like Con Air.
Really?
we-
It's
Can
so
we
dumb.
revoke? Can we kick her out of the call? No.
I love it. It's so stupid.
It is stupid.
I know. That's why I love it.
Oh, that's
It's-
why we didn't.
It's Forrest Gump. Nicolas Cage is doing a Forrest Gump the entire movie. You be nice to women, which we probably could have used him for Men today,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, we could have. Okay.
Spitting that knowledge.
Honestly, Steve Buscemi in that would have been a good addition to this movie.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Steve Buscemi. Now, you know what? He'd be better in this movie because he'd have something to do, unlike in Con Air. Which
Yeah,
he's just there because he's Steve Buscemi, so he's there.
They're like,
He
is he
lives in my
gonna kill the kid? Is he
neighborhood.
not gonna kill the kid? You don't know.
I
And
feel
actually,
like,
I've worked with him before. He's very nice.
oh, I love Steve Buscemi. I watched the movie today. He popped. I watched a Michael Bay movie today. He popped up. I was like, yeah.
When did you work with him? Was it like when he was deep into like his Adam Sandler friendship, or was it post Sandler?
It was 2015.
Okay, this is post Sandler. Okay.
It was Colin Quinn had a web series called Cop Show. And Steve Buscemi was a guest on one of the episodes. I was the script supervisor, so I ran lines with him.
Okay. And you say he's a
Yeah.
good guy. He didn't
Very
like.
nice, incredibly sweet.
Oh, that's good to hear. You're always worried. You're always
No,
worried. You're like,
incredibly
oh, is
sweet.
this person going to be a monster? Like, are they a complete like narcissist? Or are they just going to like, do they even see me right now? Do they even
Yeah,
see me, or am I
he's
just so
incredibly
far
nice.
below?
And he lives in my neighborhood. He's kind of known for hanging out in costume on Halloween and handing out candy on a stoop.
Oh, that's incredible.
What
Yeah.
does he wear?
A different costume. Like he dresses up in different costumes, different
Oh.
Halloween costumes. Yeah,
what was
yeah,
his
yeah.
costume this year? Do you know?
No, I didn't do. I was bad. I really didn't go out on Halloween this year because I was recording with the Horror Queers podcast and getting ready to just start harassingly social media spam people the next day.
You could have You could have spammed people instead of saying trick or treat. Watch my movie.
Watch
Yeah,
me.
you know, there are a lot of children out in my neighborhood, and it's not really for them.
No, I'm saying you
Definitely.
should have gone to the houses and instead of saying trick or treat, say watch my movie out tomorrow.
Here's a
Should have. I really should. I
Here's-
should have gone to
here's a
Steve Buscemi's
postcard.
house and Patrick Stewart's Brownstone.
You know, it wouldn't have been the worst thing handed to children that Halloween night. Like I saw people like rubber banding like their political stuff to like Reese's peanut butter
no.
cups online. It's like, what you think this 10-year-old's gonna go vote? What the hell's wrong with you?
I think that would be voter fraud, wouldn't it? They can't
Yeah.
vote.
Like,
They can try.
Kid-
I'm here for
three-
my grandma.
3 kids in a trench coat are like, I'm here to vote.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I did message Matt on Twitter. I was like, yeah, Men is kind of the perfect movie given what my movie is. Because also it deals with, you know, a relationship that is domestic abuse, where the abuse is, because I know in this movie, the time he hits her is the only time she says, so where the abuse is more emotional and psychological and verbal, and that's exactly what my movie is. But if you let me pitch it this way. Did you watch Men and at the end you felt deeply underwhelmed because she never got up when the ghost of her schmuck dead husband showed up and said, "This is what you made me do." She didn't take the axe, bash him over in the head and say, "No, this is what you made me do." Would you rather she did that? Watch my movie.
Oh, that's a better ending. Oh my god,
Yeah.
Amanda.
Yeah, it's this Men is really underwhelming. It is.
Why couldn't you have been on this set? Why couldn't you have been on this set? Garland, like this movie feels like a blemish in like a really good run of movies for him.
I know. It's really pretty. And I think the
Mm.
title is part of its problem. That if it had been given a different title, you might be going in thinking something else. Because it is set up kind of as a gothic horror story. Is this real? Is she going crazy? So if it had been given a different, more idyllic title, you wouldn't necessarily be so caught up in, okay, what does this mean about men when it is literally just called Men? I still think the ending would be deeply underwhelming.
Mhm. I know we want to save it for it, but there's a point at the end where what's happening is what's happening, and she just looks so bored, and I was like, I agree, sister, I agree.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
Yeah.
be so bored during that part.
It's like there's one of the South Park guys said that sometimes they'll like do a joke past its expiration date because if you keep
Mhm.
going, it becomes funny again. And that part, which we will talk about, I felt like so it passed its expiration date, and then if it kept going, maybe something might have happened. I was like, no, now it's done, and you're
Yeah.
like, should have ended a minute ago.
He was still very much annihilation pilled by the time he was making this, I think.
Well,
And
I don't really know who this movie was for, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know. I don't know.
'Cause if the audience was women, well, we don't need a movie that's just a reminder, hey, it's dangerous out there to be a woman. Men can be scary. Yes, thank you. Been a woman for 31 years. Yeah, cool. But then if the audience is like, if it's trying to tell men, do better, men, well, those men are not going and seeing this movie. And it's also like all the Rory Kinnears, it's kind of too funny.
Right. And I get why they have him play all the roles. Like I get it thematically, but also it's like, but this guy's really good. Like if you wanted to do a black comedy like this, fine. But this doesn't have black comedy vibes. This doesn't feel like a Tucker versus Dale or anything. This feels like you were going for something super serious, but you have this character actor playing all these roles.
I feel like this movie said, not all men, but oh wait, yes, all men.
Oh man.
That's all this movie is saying, I think.
Yeah,
I immediately apologize to my
men
wife
bad.
for this movie. I'm sorry.
is a very simplistic. It's really not unpacking whatever it is trying to unpack, and then there's a weird racial element at play that feels kind of like he cast her husband as a black guy just because he was like, oh, diversity in the cast, but then it makes it part of the story that it makes him like the sole black person in the movie, the ultimate monster. And like, look, when I was making my own film, that is something that I am very conscious of, that if I'm playing the lead and the man is the villain, we're talking specifically about interpersonal relationships and domestic abuse, I am as lily white looking as they come. So if I put myself up against a man of color, even if it's just because I think this man is a phenomenal actor, that becomes part of the story, because we don't live in a world where it can't be, unfortunately, and there's no way to, the world we live in, there's just no way for it to not be. So it becomes part of the story here, and it doesn't get addressed or unpacked in any meaningful way.
It definitely feels like it thinks it's smarter than it really is. Like I'm watching this movie and then like this movie thinks it's like so clever, and I'm like, I knew what you were doing from minute one, and you haven't really changed it.
I knew you. The moment the hands get cut and like you see that everyone's hand is cut, you're like, oh, this is what we're Not every man, but really every man.
It's almost like it was too pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a little grimier, a little more grotesque, a little more just like spooky.
It had a weird like it has the body horror vibes, but you're like, why are we doing body horror here? Like, what is like this body horror doesn't feel like it fits.
It doesn't.
It feels like it's from another movie. It feels like you have
cool. I guess. Cool.
I felt like and maybe we should save all of this for like when we actually really get into it. But
do you want me to do the quick spiel from Wikipedia here? Speaking of Wikipedia earlier.
Yeah.
So Men is a 2022 British folk horror film written and directed by Alex Garland, formerly of Ex Machina, also Annihilation, and then the Civil War, which we did an excellent episode of on this show. I will say so myself. Starring, let me go down to the cast here. They don't readily have the cast here. Where is starring Jessie Buckley and Rory Kinnear. Kinnear,
I think.
Kinnear. Also, there is Papa Asidu, who plays the husband character that we were talking about. Gail Rankin, Sarah Twarney, and Sonoya Mizuno, which is the voice only. I didn't know they were going to put that on there. But yeah, it follows I guess you'd call her a widower, a divorced widower, who escapes into the countryside to get away from everything going on in her life. And she begins to be, harassed by the local men was it an Airbnb that she got? It was an Airbnb, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yes. She begins to get harassed by the men in the area, and things trend towards weird as the trip goes on. And that's basically the synopsis of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's how it was sold to me.
That's how it was sold to everybody.
I went in only knowing that Rory Kinnear played all the men. That was it. That's all I went in knowing. And I went in like, I'm actually a big Gothic horror fan, so I went in like, this might be a movie for me. And I was like, I don't know what this is.
All right, well let's get our Letterboxd reviews out of the way. Our dad approved Letterboxd reviews. You have 5, Amanda, so why don't you start?
Okay. I have this 2.5-star review by Wes. This was so scary. I'm glad British people aren't real. I have a 1.5-star review from Coffee. Hey Queen, I saw your tweet about how men are trash, and I just wanted to let you know that I agree. Although I myself am a man, I know, I am on your side. One of the good ones, as some may say.
That is perfect.
I have a 3-star review by Alice Rosa. Men being men, nothing new. And then I have a 2-star review by Amy Smasher. A film about men, am I right? But very much written by a man. And finally, I have a 2.5-star review by, I cannot tell you what this name is, but it ends in a unicorn. This made sense, but sense spelled CENTS. Those are my
Is that Amanda? I'm glad you're here because I feel like the episode, if you weren't here, would just be me and Matt being like, I would never do any of this. I know. I'm one of the good ones.
When she messaged me, she was like, this movie is perfect based on what my movie is, and I was like, well, it's gonna be really nice to not just be 2 dudes talking about this.
Thanks for the save. For the save.
When she was like, you want to be a guest? I was like, when can she guest? Okay, Matt, perfect.
I hope we can have you back for It Follows eventually.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Love It Follows. I have one from Nathan Spencer, who is a patron. I still don't understand what you get for being a patron on Letterboxd, but good for you. He gave it 2.5 stars and said, men will literally make men before going to therapy. To which I agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a review from One Less Helper, who is not a patron or any type of subscriber. They did not give it any stars, nor did they give it a heart. So take that what you will. They wrote, I think the film would have been better if all the men in the village were played by Willem Dafoe, except they're all different characters he has played throughout the years. Like, one can be the Green Goblin, another can be his character from The Lighthouse, another can be his character from American Psycho, another can be his character from Life Aquatic. Hell, I even throw in the hot fish he played in Finding Nemo. You get it. It would be so much better, and I would give it a 10 out of 10. As for what it is, it's okay, but disappointing considering Alex's previous films being so good.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Wow. He's not wrong.
I have a hot Alex Garland take, guys. Annihilation was just okay.
I haven't seen it.
And I say that, I don't know if you can see it on camera. I read the book after I watched the movie, and I was like, oh, this book is amazing. Like, it's doing amazing things with invasion and like invasion of privacy and doing all this. And then I rewatched the movie thinking like, oh, I'm going to get something new out of the movie. And I was like, this is just okay. Not to be the annoying, the book is better guy, but I just came away more disappointed the second time. That's my Alex Garland hot take.
No, that is a hot take.
Yeah. Still a good movie. The bear is terrifying.
Oh, yes. Annihilation.
You're like, wait a minute, there's a bear in there? We were talking about a bear earlier.
My roast for this movie is this is not my dad joke, but what do you call a group of men with the same face?
What?
Men?
A mewing subreddit.
Oh, yes. Fuck Reddit. Any shot we can take at Reddit, we will allow it. Matt, make sure that makes the cut in the episode. We want it on.
No, at this point, nothing's being edited out. Maybe that hour and a half at the beginning, but
so then
yeah.
After that,
this is where I have where I have to re-add that this movie is basically the would you rather alone in the forest meet a bear or a man? It's obviously the bear. This movie
Yeah.
proves that.
Yeah. Well,
100%.
Yeah.
I'm sure that discussion will come up naturally. Well, we get into our criticism sandwich, but as always, the top bun is like. So, what do we like about this movie?
I think Amanda said it earlier, but shot very beautifully.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. I like the tunnel scene, though I know there was a IMDb goof on like the
I have that on
acoustics.
my list.
Yeah.
That's one of the 3 I pulled.
But I do like that scene. I do like how beautiful it is before things start to go wrong.
I like that scene because that scene made me think the movie was going to be something else.
Yes.
Like I saw that scene, I'm like, oh, this is like a nice little like what if, and I'm like, what if Silent Hill was in the British countryside, but it was like men instead of weird flesh monsters. Like that's the vibe I was getting, like, like weird tunnel. She runs away and it's like it is a closed tunnel, looks the same as. I'm like, oh, so this is like she's in like a weird supernatural town. It's got its own powers, and then it's just not that at all. And I was. But
it's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cinematography is gorgeous.
But like up until that point, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a pretty decent little psychological gothic horror. It made a nice first impression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was more with it for the first 2 acts until I wasn't. Okay, I was with it for the first like 50 minutes, and then it was basically at the 46-minute mark is when I poured myself a glass of wine.
You walk away. You don't even pause it to walk away. You're like, all right.
I was just like, I was watching this with my fiance, and that was when we looked at each other, and he said, "Why aren't we drinking?" So, that tells you that.
Drink every time a man does something that a man would do. You end up polishing off 3 bottles.
So dead. It's gorgeous. I like the sound design.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jessie Buckley is a very good actress. I think Rory Kinnear is very talented. I think the husband does a good job with what he's given. He's very attractive.
It is good acting. I just have that in my notes. Really great acting.
He underlined it 3 times. He's like, I need to come up with more besides the acting.
Really great acting.
I didn't hate it. I just also didn't like it.
Yeah,
right.
Literally one of my, I made sure to type this down. I'm like, I was never bored. I was at least never bored, right? So even during times where I was like, more should be happening right now, or I don't like what's happening right now. At least something mildly interesting was happening. So like it had my attention, which is more than like other movies can say.
And I like that the movie was like really quick. Like it wanted to make you uncomfortable. Like there's the scene where Jessie is talking to, I know she's always talking to Rory, but Rory as the priest, and they're having a conversation about.
He puts his hand on her leg.
Yes, he puts his hand, like he's automatically creepy. And then he's like, I think this is where he's like, did you apologize or did you forget? He asked if he
apologize.
Did you let him up? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do you do? You're a man of the cloth. What are you doing? Why are you being like this?
Mansplaining the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I think before it kind of jumps the shark in that like back half, it is good at building tension of like, this is a creepy town. Something's clearly like, is there something going on with all the men? Is there something supernatural about this town that's like trapped her or haunted her? Of course, and then the thing happens, but up to a point, it builds the tension of like what is going on quite well. And I guess that's part of like why I was never bored. I was like, oh, what's it? Like before like the whole like they all have the hand slit thing and the other thing that we'll definitely talk about when it's just like
the Russian nesting doll sequence.
Yes. just when like all the weird things were happening to her in the house and like they were trying to break in and the lights were going out and people were disappearing. I'm like, okay, so this is a nice psychological horror sequence.
Yeah. And it was falling into the gothic of, is she going crazy? Is her own guilt over something that she has no reason to feel guilty for because her husband was a schmuck, fuck him. But is she going, mad through this guilt or is it really happening? And I think the end really does establish, no, that all happened.
Yeah.
I don't know the practicalities of that and what that means or what's going to happen in the town now. And because it ended on such a, I don't know what she did after. They just sat on the couch and had like, I don't know,
Tea.
she can
They
make
had
a cup
tea.
of, yeah, like it's such a letdown that's where you've gotten there. And I saw a reviewer refer to it as Chekhov's axe, and it never gets used.
Mhm.
You can't not use Chekhov's fucking gun.
Well, and like Matt said, like it's really good. Like before things go all Russian doll, like you said, it's really good at building the tension. So I mean, it does it with the naked man running around the property. When Rory is playing the homeowner, like he's this nice little country guy, but like in the back of your head, like, okay, what is he gonna do that's gonna be the thing? And it was reminding me a lot of like that first 30 minutes of Barbarian.
Yes.
Where they're like checking off the boxes of like, okay, this is the weird thing that the guy that played Pennywise, I forget his name, but
Bill
Pennywise
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård did this, and I kept thinking,
that was much more effective.
mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I see what they're going for, but and I think Barbarian came out like a few months after this, if I'm remembering correctly, and was much, it was either a few months or it was like the next year. I'm forgetting exactly when it was. But yeah, just the creepiness of like, okay, this guy's very nice. Where are his skeletons? Where is he gonna where's it gonna go batshit? And we're like, okay, we don't like this guy anymore. And like he's walking the line. He's like saying like these borderline creepy things that like you could misconstrue as creepy, but you could also misconstrue as, oh, he's cute. Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, he's
well. It's like the same thing in a lot of romance movies that if you just change the emphasis on certain lines slightly and change the sound design, that line that this movie is telling you is romantic is actually incredibly unsettling. Yeah.
You're right, Nick. Barbarian did come out a couple months later.
so good. So good.
That is a great movie. That's
one you go into blind and don't know anything about.
I was really good at avoiding all of the trailers and everything about that movie before I.
Written by a comedy genius, so you know what? As a fellow comedy genius, put that one in the win column.
He did a great job. I was really into it. I think it is significantly more frightening the first act,
right?
Just because also that's the terror that's real, and then it because it does so many things. It's fun. It's a fun ride to keep going on.
We should have talked about Barbarian this episode.
Well, you know, when we eventually do Barbarian, Amanda's going to have to come back for that one as well.
Amazing. That one's great. I love it. I love something that's split into 3 acts where you're doing entirely different things in your acts. It's almost what we did. So I'm a big fan of 3-act structures.
I'm making all these plans for you, Amanda, so I'm sorry if I'm filling up your calendar.
I know I'm such a dad. I give off such dad energy.
We'll just send you an email one day. We got Barbarian on the wheel. Mark your calendar.
Get in here. We're doing Barbarian.
Tell Steve Buscemi to come.
Get Buscemi. Yeah, get Buscemi in here.
Yeah, just because.
His doorstep. Be like, hi, do you remember me? It's been like a decade.
You want to be on a dad movie podcast hosted by 2 people I don't really know?
He's like, I heard what they said about Con Air. No.
What if he listens?
That was my finest work. If Steve Buscemi's my fan, if Steve Buscemi's our biggest fan, I can die a happy man.
Steve Buscemi, if you are a big fan of Stand and Watch, though none of us are standing right now.
Well, that's because we're talking about the movie. We're standing when we watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. Give them a holler. Shout them out. I don't know what social media you use, but figure it out.
I'm just gonna go into the assumption that Steve Buscemi is our listener.
He's here. Yeah. Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve. Do you remember me? I asked you that question at the Miracle Workers Emmys screening about if your character of God reminded you of your character from Parting Glances. I'm that girl. So we did see each other more recently than 2015.
We should just greet him on every episode now. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
We know you're listening. Hi, Mr. Buscemi.
Can we start talking?
Watchers just make the rounds, and eventually it will get to him. Just the podcast that randomly says hi to him.
Oh,
It gets to the point where like Steves that have no idea what's going on is all the Steves think we're saying hi to them, and all of our listeners are just Steves who are happen to be dads at this point.
And they will feel so honored. But no,
Oh.
it's Steve Buscemi.
I'm putting it into our format notes next intro. Say hi to Steve.
Say hi to.
I
I'm
will
gonna write it
listen
down
if
too.
that actually happened.
Say
Hi
hi to
To
Steve.
Steve. It's my only note
Buscemi.
besides all the bear. Like I've got the Edge written down. I've got the "Would You Fuck Me" musical written down. A lot of bear talk this episode.
Oh, hi Steve
But
Buscemi.
we haven't talked about
Loved you in Boardwalk Empire.
bears in the gay community. We've just talked about the actual bears.
Just the actual bear, the bears that will kill you
Yes.
and eat you.
Yes.
Speaking of the terrible things that bears do, can we talk about the terrible things that men does?
Yeah. Do we have any other nice things to say, or is the rest of this just gonna be shitting on the movie?
I've got one more nice thing, but I wanted to
Okay,
save it for
okay.
the sand. I want to do the
Okay.
the sandwich format properly.
Okay. Well, I know, but sometimes we don't do the sandwich format if we really don't like something, like Con Air, which was not your fault, Steve Buscemi.
Well, you know, on a sandwich, like on a burger, like the bottom part of the bun is smaller. So I do have like one more
That's
nice
true.
thing.
Okay.
Don't you start with the bottom first? 'Cause then you
start
have to
with
top it. I'm so sorry. but
I always assume we start with the top. I always eat like my sloppy joes. I eat my sloppy joes
first.
upside down.
No, but your teeth go through the top first.
No, if it's on the top, but like I put the top bun at the bottom whenever I'm eating my sandwiches or my burgers. There's more flavor at the bottom of this. I swear, there's more flavor down there because that's where the tomato and the lettuce is put on burgers most of the time.
No,
That's
but
where the flavor is.
No, that's where it gets soggy.
You want this? That's why you're turning it upside down.
No, you don't
You're
want a
trying to-
soggy bun.
You're trying to counteract the sogginess of the bottom bun, so you're flipping it.
You don't agree with Paul Hollywood about no soggy bottoms.
Well, if you toast the bottom, you don't have to worry about it.
Toasted bottoms are good.
God. I'm not touching that.
Okay. Didn't like. I'll tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like all the flashbacks.
No.
I didn't like how on the nose it was with like the husband's injuries when he I know we're on YouTube, when he ends up taking his own life, and then at the end when we've got the Russian doll of men coming at them, all the Russian dolls got all the same injuries.
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay, I get it.
I don't mind like the little flashes of like him like her screaming and like he's like falling out the window. I don't mind that, but like the full on flashbacks, I don't need it. If this is
I get it without seeing it.
Yeah, if this is like a psychological horror thing, you don't need to give me a full flashback to what's haunting her. Like
no, because we should be more curious.
Yeah.
And we're not. And I do watch a lot of the old Gothic horrors, and I kept thinking about The Innocents from, I want to say it's 1960, and that one is one where it really doesn't give you any of her backstory, so it's spooky. It's really fucking spooky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the ending. It's a letdown,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like the title.
Do you have a title that you would prefer, like where you're like, this should be called blank, and I would be?
It should be more along the lines of The Innocents, The Haunting, Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Turn of the Screw, Rebecca, just something that's more evocative. Here, you're going in, you're thinking it's about men are shitty.
Yep.
And so that's all you can think. If the title were maybe just a little more opaque, then you would be thinking other things.
Yeah, it's very, and this is my problem with the
Like, you call it,
flashbacks.
like The Guest Manor,
It's very just like, this is what it is. Just
Yeah.
like right away. Like the title, right away, like I think the first flashback is like in the first 10 minutes. It's like, okay, so within the first 10 minutes of your psychological horror, you're telling me what's psychologically haunting her. Great. So now what? What else are you going to throw at me? Turns out nothing.
And I was kind of watching this thinking the whole time, what if the real twist is that she is literally being haunted by her husband, her schmuck husband's ghost, and like the ultimate way to break away is to actually take charge and re-kill him, and then she doesn't.
Yeah, they cut away, and it's just like, no, let her have her moment. Like, let's have that release.
Yeah, we don't get any catharsis. We have spent an hour and 40 minutes of these guys being the most extra shitty men. And by the end, she's just bored. And is that what the movie's saying? That like we're so used to this, but that's not like, yeah, sure. I could be used to men being shitty, but that doesn't mean it's not still frightening. And it's not, you don't still walk out on the street and not know, oh, is that guy gonna be the one who actually does something bad?
It
And
really,
the fact that yeah.
it really feels like it's like a horror movie that is begging to be an elevated horror movie. And so it's like, well, we gotta be, so like it thinks it's smarter than it is, and it's like, well, we gotta be this, and we gotta be like a prestige movie. We can't just be a horror movie. So like, we can't just have her like chop his head off at the end. We gotta cut away and be cute and thought provoking. It's like, no, just fucking kill him.
Just let him,
Yeah, I
let him
want
be
her
dead.
in my movie. I want her. Why is she not angry? She should just like, I want rage.
Yeah, she sits down on the couch with him. She's like, why? Like, what the fuck? Like, kill him again.
Yeah, she says, what do you want from me? He goes, your love. And she just sits down and goes, yeah, no, no fucking, he consistently says, look at what you made me do, which is textbook abuser talk. Why is she not turning around, chopping him up intentionally with the hammer? Look at what I made you do? Well, look what you made me do.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
And you just end it with her. You don't even have to show like, you don't even have to show the axe hitting the body. You just have her swinging away, blood splattering. Movie flashes to black. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have her raise the axe, shot like smack down, blood splatters her black.
Perfect. But no, it's got to be an elevated horror movie. Everything's gonna be I hate elevated horror. Shit term.
It's just a term because
It's
it pretends that all horror doesn't generally actually have something to say. And look, okay,
Right.
yes, not every horror movie that gets made has a deeper meaning, but horror generally is about, there is always a metaphor. Even, I'm a big fan of Men, Women, and Chainsaws, the book by Carol J. Clover, and even she's arguing that even in a lot of the slashers, there is a deeper meaning. There's the rape revenge isn't just about being exploitative. There is a real rage behind these.
I dislike elevated horror because its existence insinuates that horror needed to be elevated.
Yeah.
But like, I just watched Frankenstein on Halloween. Like, this movie came out, the original. Like, this movie came out in 1931. You're telling me that horror needed to be elevated?
Right? The original Jekyll and Hyde from also 31. If you go back and watch so many of those, The Innocents, The Haunting, The Changeling from the 80s, you're telling me those don't fit into today's idea of elevated horror? That's exactly what these movies are fucking doing.
Yeah, but it ends with the windmill burning and the monster falling in. So, like, you can end this movie with him getting chopped up.
Well, and I think the elevated thing came from like the 90s and the 2000s, like the 2000s, like there were slashers everywhere, right? And you know, most moviegoers are probably like, I don't really do the horror movies. Or maybe it came from like maybe it came from like a spot where like we had torture porn and like someone was like, oh, we need to make a U-turn here and call it something else. We need to get away from like the hacky slashy torture side of things. I think it comes from that, and I get why the verbiage is there, but I agree with you guys. Like, it insinuates that Saw doesn't have anything to say. It insinuates that Hostel has nothing to say, even though I couldn't stomach either of those right now.
Right, and maybe some of them don't have anything to say. That's fine. I mean, horror movies are they're not, ubiquitous, and they do, because you can make them on a budget, many do get churned out. And it's the same if you look at the old movies in the 30s, 40s, even the 20s, horror movies, murder mystery comedies, which were kind of proto-horror movies, those got churned out quickly because they were really cheap and easy to make. And yeah, most of them don't mean jack shit just because they're putting them out there because people are going to always watch. But then for all, 100 of those, there is one that they put the time and the money and got the cast for, and it does have something to say.
Okay, I'm just going to mention this because no one else has yet, and then Nick can probably give us a real point of dislike, but the CGI face on the little boy looked like it was from the Polar Express.
Yes, it did. That was the creepiest one.
As soon as he took his little mask off, I was like, oh no.
Well, I like with the scene where he confronts her in the house, and you see him from the side, but you still kind of see half of his face, and that's when you can see they didn't CGI that part, so you can see it's like the kid actor.
Didn't like. I'm trying to think. I like the friend, and I like what the friend ends up symbolizing by the end.
Mhm.
But I didn't like that there are all these terrible things going on while she's on the phone, and she's like, I hate the act of like, she stays on the phone, but she has terrible service. It's the phones just always annoy me in these movies, and I start to understand why like movies made today are like, we're going back to the 90s, so like the phone it doesn't play into this. I remember watching this and I was like, okay, your service went out again right as the naked man walks on your lawn. Okay. And yeah, it's nitpicky. I always have something nitpicky for movies, but the phone stuff was just annoying me throughout.
I feel like the friend could have come in earlier, and they could have teamed up and
Yeah,
gone
like
on a spree of killing these creepy, crappy dudes.
yeah, like at what point as a friend do you be like, well, I'm going over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, oh, hey, my best friend who's already gone through some shit before this trip is now going through some shit again. I better fly out.
Yeah, and I kind of, because we didn't get the catharsis of her actually taking that axe and smashing him over the head, we needed this movie to come down harder on the men in a more, and not just to like, look, they're creepy, but even more in a way of the husband sucks, and like, this is not your fault. This is him. Like, what he did is emotional manipulation. Oh, you're divorcing me, so I'm gonna kill myself? You know what? Great. That's probably better for the world because you are a horrible person. Oh my god, my dog is asleep and he sounds like cartoon bubbles when he dreams. So I could just hear the like bloop bloop sound coming from that side of my apartment.
He said, what kind of dog is he?
A Chiweenie.
Chihuahua and a
sounds killer.
weenie.
I'm gonna Google that and hopefully
Incredible.
get some dogs here.
Yeah, he's really cute.
Oh, that is adorable.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a textbook Chiweenie too.
That is. Oh,
He's really cute.
what's his name?
Bucatini. Bucatini the Chiweenie.
We're gonna have Bucatini on for an episode. when we do All Dogs Go to Heaven, I want Bucatini.
He'll just stare at the screen and be so confused.
Like, who are these
He'll
men?
try to lick it.
What
He'll
is
try
happening?
To lick the screen. Yeah, he's very sweet. He's a very sweet little boy.
That's how you spell Chiweenie.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think the friend could have came in much sooner. There wasn't really a body count in this movie. It was
same
the
guy.
husband and then the same guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they needed to do more for me to root against them because I was already rooting against them.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
like-
See, exactly. It's the same thing.
Like it's universally men are problematic for women. So
Yeah.
like you had a few more women characters, like, really make me hate what's going on here. I mean, it's a horror movie. You've got the budget. The body horror stuff's already proven you've got the budget. So really ramp up the stakes. Like once the bodies start popping up, then you're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I already hated this thing. I hate it even more. Like,
Yeah.
fuck 'em.
I really wanted there to be more happening like in the village too, because like most of it is like she's in the forest, but then she goes back home, and then she goes to the pub and the church, and then like that's really it. I'm like, show me her like exploring this village. Have like weird things happen to her in the village. Have other strange men that don't necessarily pop up again. And I don't know.
What do you think that ending meant?
When all the men are
Yes,
when all the men
the
are
rushing
coming forth,
nesting doll.
coming out of each
Okay.
other.
Yes.
It's generational. Like,
Yeah.
like toxic men create toxic men, and it keeps going and
Yeah.
going and going
Until it's her husband.
Until it's her husband.
Were there
I
no
feel
other
like it
women
was-
in the village?
There was
by
the
way?
one female cop, but I don't know if she lived somewhere
Where'd she
else.
go?
That's
did she
I don't
go?
know. That's what I'm saying.
Where did
Like,
she go?
show me
She
more
could've
of
been the
this
pub.
village.
In the
She could have
pub,
been
it
the
was
Dewey.
in the pub, it was Jeffrey, the bartender, the cop, and then two men who were staring creepily at her, who were also played by Rory Kinnear.
Yeah, That's what I'm
Fucking
saying.
Rory.
Like, give me more stuff happening in the village. Like,
Yeah.
are there other women in the village? Is the village some
played by Rory Kinnear.
is the village some supernatural entity that's causing this to happen? Right? Is it like Silent Hill? Like, or just like, is this just a village that's legitimately populated by nothing but Rory Kinnear? Like, what's happening here? Like, give me something.
these
By
women-
the end, it's made clear that this really was happening. So what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, has this thing been running around the village, killing the women in the village? Like, what? Something. Give me something.
Yes.
Anything.
Yeah.
Give me anything. Like, and you have like. Thank you for pointing out the other cop. I forgot she was there because she's there and then she disappears.
Yeah.
Like, she could have been your Dewey. She could have been your Dewey. She could be like, something weird's going on here.
Yeah. Right.
I'm starting to realize all these men
just
are the same guy.
have something.
Yep.
Have her walk through the village and just it's just full of men like doing creepy things or like something. It's just like, one creepy guy in the forest, and a creepy priest at the church, and the couple of
that's the thing,
creepy
it could also
men
be-
at the pub.
It could also be things that like are creepy but aren't creepy, that are just kind of mundane, but that if you shoot them in the wrong light, change the soundscape, it becomes creepy.
Yeah.
Just
like,
little things so that it's
more
building up
Jeffries.
to it more. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like just build up to it more.
And the Russian doll. Have we had enough of the Russian doll yet? Like, just the.
Okay.
Like, I watched a man be birthed from another man.
Yeah.
Which was not.
Yes.
I hate this idiom, but that was not on my bingo sheet for this podcast.
For all the listeners who still think we're talking about a Russian doll, I'm going to describe. Okay, before I describe this, I also have to point out the very unsubtle, which I dubbed in my notes, the Great Vag in the Sky.
Yes.
I saw. I
Yes,
was like,
I said that when I saw it too. But also it's
Yeah.
that. Oh, you know what I really think this movie was? I think. How many of the Hellraisers have you guys seen?
The first one and
I-
the third one.
Oh, okay. So
okay.
I have seen all 11.
Jeez.
I consider Event Horizon also a part of the Hellraiser universe. I think she's in a Hell dimension in the Hellraiser universe, and that like statue thing is just a weird version of the Lamont configuration, because at the end of the second one, the statue pops up that's got like all the mangled body parts, and it becomes a huge centerpiece in the third one. And that's basically what that little like sculpture is, with the thing opening its vagina. That's my biggest hot take, is that this is a Hellraiser movie, and it's just like the most boring Hell dimension.
Without all the BDSM.
Well, I mean, he's the naked guy is almost, he's virgin on that.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he does the thing with the dandelions and blows them on her face, he's literally saying, "I have such sights to show you."
Oh, that's when he's full green man, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was reminding me of the Green Knight, and I was just like, that's when the movie was unsettling, but when he came out like fully
Yeah.
green and like twigging out, I was like, oh no, I'm very uncomfortable right now. And then the movie proceeded to make me more uncomfortable for the next 10 minutes. I didn't clock it, but it felt like the Russian doll scene was like 10 minutes long.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Matt. Now you want to
Okay.
describe the rush. What
Okay.
you mean by this?
Yeah, so there's a great vag in the sky, and then much later there is a not so great vag on. I think the first one's on his. Is it on his?
I think it's his butt.
Is it
his
his
butt?
Is it his butt?
Because
Okay.
you see the penis on top. You see the penis and balls, and that's underneath. So it's
Okay.
the butt.
So in his butt turns into a vagina, and he gives birth to another one. I think it's the who gives birth first? The priest
It's the naked man gives
man.
birth,
Birth to-
first
to the priest.
to-
I think the priest is one of the last ones.
No, it's the child.
Okay.
It's Samuel, the kid.
Naked man
then
to
he-
child.
And then for the kid, I think it's just the butt again for that one.
I know
he
one
gives
of
birth
them comes out
then
of his
to the-
back, and one of them comes
Yes,
out of his
and
like
one is
head.
the mouth.
Yeah.
Well, the back gives birth to, I think, is it Jeffrey? And then he gives birth out of his mouth to the husband.
Yeah, so it's not a nesting doll. It's a man giving birth to himself over and over again for several minutes. And the first
And
couple
even
times,
Jesse starts to get bored.
the first couple times, it's not like obviously it's meant to unsettle you, and toxic masculinity. It's birth toxic masculinity, and obviously toxically masculine men are children mentally, and blah 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 blah. Here's all this We think we're smarter than we are, symbolism that you already knew from the last hour and 40 minutes. And if it had stopped at, I want to say 3 or 4 births.
Yeah.
Fine.
It had to birth every iteration of Rory Kinnear that we've really met.
Yeah. If it had stopped at 3 or 4 births, I think it would have been fine. And we might have even been talking about this in our likes. But it didn't stop at 3 or 4 births. It kept going. And so when the births started happening, and I'm sure you two also had the effect of, oh no, but in a good way. Like, this is unsettling. This is this is the reaction they want you to have. And then it kept going. And I thought, okay, just get on with this, please. I've had enough births.
I wanted the sound to be different. I didn't want it to just be music. I wanted like bone cracking, squelching sounds. But then it did just keep going on. And I was like, oh, okay, it's still going.
It's
and even that first or second one, they show a head breaching, and you're like, "Oh no, no!"
I really wanted sound effects for that.
But it just keeps going, and you're like, again, Rebecca gets like, she's like, she rolls her eyes. Like by the third, fourth one, she's like,
"Did you call her Rebecca?"
Did I call her Rebecca? I don't know where Rebecca came from.
Oh, because Harper. I mentioned Rebecca earlier about Gothic horror movie.
That's right. Jesse, Harper, played by Jesse. Harper, by the third one, she's rolling her eyes. She's like, she's turning her back to it. And I'm just like, I agree. I 100% agree. Like,
it really feels like he had a good idea here. He's like, oh, and then he'll give birth to himself a bunch of times. And he didn't know when to stop. He was
part of it also just feels like, look at how cool this is. Okay, but is your metaphor meaning anything?
Yeah, like you see it come out of his butt, and you're like, okay, so it's a birth, and you see the head, and you're like, oh my god, what am I watching? And then more vaginas appear on different parts of him, and he gives birth again. You're like, oh no, and then okay, how many more births do we have?
There is some light, like orifice imagery throughout the movie, but not as much as there should be for this. And look, I like body horror. I am absolutely here for vaginal orifice imagery throughout a movie. Absolutely, massively here for that. But this didn't. There were 2 moments earlier, and that was it. So, like, come on, you should have made more things vaginas throughout this movie by the time we got to this. Like the apple.
Take a shot.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time you see a vulva.
Exactly.
Oh, the apple.
I agree with you that naming this movie Men is just like a gross misjudgment, because you don't and you don't really get the impact of men with the absence of women. Like, you have the one woman character being traumatized throughout the entire movie.
By Rory Kinnear.
By Rory Kinnear.
Just like Rory Kinnear.
I was waiting for it to be revealed that Rory was also Harper.
I know. My 2 cents on who he was birthing leading up to, I was like, it's either the husband or it's her.
Yes. Yeah. Because it was the one where it's coming out of the mouth. You're like, okay, who's coming out of this mouth? Like, this one's taking a while. It's Jeffrey. Jeffrey's in pain. Like, who's coming out? And of course, it's the husband. I do have one more nice thing to say about the movie.
Go for it.
Sandwich.
I know. I was annoyed by the phone stuff and the friend like not getting there fast enough, but she did get there, and I think her getting there was like hey, we got to stick together. These men are trying to kill us.
I agree. I'm glad she showed up.
Yeah, she did show up. Good for her. She should have showed up 2 days ago.
Yep.
But
and
she was there.
I'm sorry, that was Sarah Twarney who played Frida, the woman police officer, who should have also shown up, who should have been more of a force.
Yep.
It really is a movie that plays its card very early. Like, this is what you're about to watch, and you're like, okay, and that's fine if you have something else, but it really doesn't have anything else.
No, it's one card, and it's like, that's it. This is it.
Yeah, the tunnel scene. It's funny you mentioned the tunnel scene earlier, Matt, because you were like, oh, it made me think it was going to be this, but it actually wasn't. I was watching that tunnel scene, and the entire time I was thinking of As Above, So Below, just because it's a movie about this character who has this trauma, goes underground, and like it all plays out in this, and it kind of has those similarities, but like as soon as the Russian doll happened, I was like, okay, my
The tunnel could also be more birthing canal imagery, but we don't really go there.
they could have done some brickwork that would have inspired.
They could have pulled some more from Hellraiser.
We've seen the statues. They can make some brick vulvas.
Yeah. I will say I don't recommend watching all 11. I don't.
Don't they go to space at one point, right?
Okay, I actually do recommend that one. It's Hellraiser Bloodlines. It's number 4. It is camp. It is wild. It's bonkers. It just goes there. And is it good? No. But it's got a baby Adam Scott. It's fun. There's some real pretty imagery. And the guy who plays the lead looks like a really hot lesbian doing Leonardo DiCaprio from the Titanic cosplay. So that's my pitch on it.
So I've never seen that. I've seen the dead meat kill count for that one, though. I'm pretty sure.
That one has a high kill count. I think 3 probably has a higher kill count because there's the whole club scene. So 3 is probably the highest kill count, and then 5 through 10 are just these straight to DVD movies where the scripts were generally not originally Hellraiser scripts, and then they just threw Pinhead in them, and they're all differing levels of bad.
Was the Hulu recent Hulu movie good? I remember seeing.
Okay. There's some people who really like it. I found it's a little long. It's like an over 2-hour movie. The original Hellraiser is 87 minutes.
No, 90 minutes in and out.
I appreciate it had good production value. It was definitely going for a very different metaphor for the Cenobites, and I appreciate that. I'm not going to watch it again. I much prefer the kinkiness of the originals. Like, give me the Clive Barker kinky queerness. That's what I want. Give me Julia, like, vamping it up. That's what I'm here for. I love the, like, ooey gooiness of the original movies. There's just a grime to them that the new one, which is so much more polished, doesn't have. And I like my body horror to be gross. I want it to be like sticky.
Well, if these younger generations have their way, there will be no stickiness in any future Hellraisers.
I'm aware. I hate that because I'm very much here for sex in movies.
Never listen to
Generation
teens.
A down and be like, all right, come on. Hey, you guys are sounding like boomers right now. Like,
I know it's really sad.
Let the Xenobites, or did I call them Xenobites?
Xenobites.
Now there's a crossover.
Let them fuck. Let Pinhead fuck.
Yeah. Pinhead is a kinky icon.
Oh,
he is. He really is.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh, they just all make me feel
don't watch
so
all
weird.
11. Really, don't. You watch the first 4, and if you really want to watch the remake, like, it's not bad. It's just, if you really enjoy the first 2, it is kind of harder to separate yourself from that.
Weird how I saw the first one and the third one, but not the second one. I need to fix that.
The second one is really good. People really fall in that as your favorite number 1 or number 2. I'm a number 1. I really like the plot of it. I'm absolutely here for Julia luring men to the house and killing them for Frank. I love him like coming up as, a blood body from the floor. So
it's really good effect. That was mid 80s, right?
87, I think.
Really good effects for 87.
Yeah. The practical gore is so good.
It's a gross movie.
Disgusting. I love it.
Disgusting. Matt, are we ranking? We're rating men, right? Are we rating men the movie or men in general?
We can rate both if you want.
Don't we have to do the goofs first, or do we rank first?
First, we rate it, and then we put it. We put it on the how Dad certified it is, and then the negative Nancy of the week. Very structured.
Okay. Yes,
very structured and professional.
We're still learning.
No, you sent it to me. I was trying to. Okay. Yes. Okay. The ratings.
Do we want to rate men the gender also?
Yes, let's do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Probably the same that I'm giving the movie.
All right. First, we'll rate the movie.
I'm giving them both a 30%. Because not all men, right? Oh, no. I would give the movie a 30%. Just because
30%.
I like.
Wait, is this your
I
dad
like
rating or your star rating?
star. Oh, I'm sorry, star rating. I would give the movie like a 1.5 star.
Okay.
1.5 star. Just the imagery is beautiful. The sound stuff at the beginning is great. I love the. I think Rory's great in it, even though I don't think he needs to be playing every role like he is. Yeah, 1.5.
I did rank this on Letterboxd, and I gave it a 2.5 because I think it's so mid. It is just exactly 50%. I don't like it. I don't hate it. I despite everything I've said, I don't feel that much about it.
I gave it a 3 on Letterboxd just because I also I didn't hate it, and I went in expecting to not like it, and I didn't hate it, and it wasn't that long, and I was never bored, so it meets my minimum criteria of a 3.
I think
the
it was
length of
so
the movie.
it was just mid.
Yeah, it was fine. It exists. I don't think I wasted my time watching it. I'm never gonna watch it again, but I don't feel like, oh, I should have watched something else. I mean, I wouldn't have because I had to for the podcast, but I don't like when, and you like this movie, man, but like when I watched Con Air, I was like, we shouldn't have fucking put this on the wheel because I felt like I wasted 2.5 hours of my life.
Oh, I find that one so fun. It's so stupid.
But Matt, you found out that you needed to treat women better. You don't do that to women. That delivery is so weird.
You know,
No,
we could have
that's
done
why
a
it's
double.
so-
We could have
it's
done a
so-
double feature of this and Con Air.
That lesson would have carried over.
Don't hurt
you think-
women.
Do you think this movie is? Do you think this movie's score is hurt just because Alex Garland's name is all over it? Like if Alex had used like a pseudonym or something to be like, oh, this is from Joe Blow over here. I do think it gets pinged because it was Alex Garland doing it.
Right, because we've seen better. I don't know. I think it was just mid.
Yeah,
It's
like
just like it is. It just kind of
it exists.
yeah.
It's there.
It's like
yeah.
if anybody else made this the exact same way, it would still be mid.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
still just be like, "Mhm."
We probably
You know,
wouldn't
I
talk
feel
about it as much.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like if I were to give it a lower score, I would be more vocally angry at it, or I think it's terrible but loved it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Yeah.
It exists.
Now, what do you rate out of 5 men the gender?
Oh, this is a doozy because I think I'm a great person. I'm a, she's like, he's
I'm
not.
gonna let
He's
you
really
two go
not.
first.
Oh man,
well-
this is why we got a guest for this episode.
Well, I mean, obviously, men are clearly a 5, right? That's why we run everything, right?
But we're doing this out of 100, yes? You just this one's out of 100, yeah?
On a 5-star ranking, I give men. They're doing really good, and all the like Hollywood's doing really well. The music industry is doing really well.
Yeah, we
I'm
got all
not
those.
strengthening
We got all those
whatsoever.
wars going. Really good at violence.
I do love that we're doing this episode the weekend before we potentially have the first
Yes.
woman president elected. So,
Or we just lose our rights to vote.
oh
Forever.
boy,
Well, this episode's coming out after that, so regardless of the outcome, I will edit in a different score.
Hey, if it goes one way, no one will hear this because CSS feeds will cease to
Yeah.
exist. Everything will halt. And I'm talking about if Kamala wins, right?
I don't know. I'll give men the gender. I'll give men a gender of 1.5 because the patriarchy didn't even have any horses in it, so that's a letdown. But I'll give us a 1.5 because we got Keanu.
I was gonna
that's a
say
good one. He
we-
gets a full half point
We
extra.
got Keanu, and we got Keanu, and we have this podcast. So 1.5.
I'm gonna give men a 2. The gender I'm gonna give the gender of men a 2 because we have Steve Buscemi, and at one point we had Gene Wilder.
Oh, that's okay. And I'm still gonna go with 1.5, but we also have Mel Brooks.
Mel
That's
Brooks,
true.
Keep him locked away. Don't let anyone near that man. If someone coughs on him, we beat them to a pulp.
Can we take Disney out of his chamber and put Mel Brooks in instead?
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Please
Mel
keep
Brooks
Mel
is
Brooks
a
alive.
treasure. I love Mel Brooks.
Don't let anybody go in and bug him about making History of the World Part 3, because no more History of the World. Leave him and his works alone. Just leave him in his little corner.
Faithfuls 2, The Search for More Money.
It's coming. It's coming. It's gonna that'll be his last thing. That'll be his megalopolis.
I hope it turns out. I hope it turns out better.
He comes out, he's like, look,
Mel Brooks, if I have to read a report about, oh no, Mel Brooks is sexually harassing the extras like I did about Megalopolis, I will, the gender will completely go down to a 0. I won't be, that's it.
I love his
We are
excuse.
lost
I
as a
love his
gender.
excuse for that. It was, I'm an old Italian man. That's just how I show affection to the crew who's doing a good job. I'm just
The naked
friendly.
extras?
how about a fucking raise, dude? How about some money? Hey, look, you're doing a good job. I come on the set, I grope you. What?
Yep, that's what happened.
Oh, Martin Scorsese's an old Italian man. He's not groping people, at least that we know of.
I haven't heard anything.
Nah, he's too
Yeah,
short
nothing
to.
from those sets.
He's too short to get away with groping someone.
I don't think that's it. No, but he's just doing little like TikTok videos with his granddaughter. It's
Yeah.
great.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Wait. So he's short. Martin Scorsese's short.
Yeah,
Is it
you didn't
Is
know.
that why all of his movies are so goddamn long now?
the Napoleon complex?
Is that his
He-
Napoleon complex?
Oh,
Like I
he's-
might be
He's
5'3".
5'4".
I
He's
think
This movie.
they're long
4
because
hours.
he's like 80 something. He's like 87, and he's like, I'm Martin Scorsese. I'm gonna make whatever my movie ever goddamn long it's gonna be.
There was a point in time where like if I had like a 5-hour drive, I would tell people, "Hey, I'll be there in about 1.25 run of what's the movie he did on Netflix?
Gangs of New York. Oh, The Irishman.
I know Irishman.
I'll be there in 1.25 Irishman.
Oh my god. I'll be there in 1 Killers of the Flower Moon.
Sad movie. I still haven't seen it, but I know it's a sad movie.
Yes. But isn't
Oh,
that a dad movie?
Oh
Man.
hey, look at you.
Good
Getting us back on
segue.
track.
Good
I
segue.
checked.
He's like,
Oh.
they're going off course.
I
Oh.
know,
No,
I
it's-
checked with the schedule.
No, it's not a
not.
dad movie.
I don't think
no.
it is.
I don't even know if I'd rank this at a 10% dad movie.
I'd give it a 0 because I think a dad would watch this and be like, a dad would just be like, these men are all terrible. I'm not like this.
A
I don't-
dad would see like the gimmick of one guy like playing everybody and be like, isn't this supposed to be funny?
Is this an artsy movie?
Is this he's playing all the characters like Peter Sellers, but I'm not laughing.
Is this supposed to be like a UK version of The Nutty Professor? What's going on here?
Is this one of those like smart people movies?
Oh. Yeah.
Dads don't like elevated horror.
Yeah, no, they don't. They like regular horror.
they're- This isn't a dad movie. There's nothing dad about this.
Yeah,
No.
0% chance. This is 0%.
Any
This is our first ever 0% dad
Yeah.
certified.
any dad that stayed on up to the first crowning head out of a man's butt is going to church the next day because they're like, I think I sinned by watching that movie.
Like, I remember when I was in the delivery room. I don't need to see that again.
This is the kind of movie a dad watches because their cinephile kid is like, yeah, I saw it. It was really good, or whatever. It was really interesting, and their dad watches, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. They're like, what was that? What did you make me watch?
Yeah, we gotta get some real movies in you. Go watch Taken.
The only dad willingly watching this is Alex Garland's dad.
Even still.
He even says that he pats him on the head. Good
You made a
job,
movie.
Alexander. Good job,
Maybe a
Alexander.
war movie next time.
Like a
Hey, you know what,
Civil War
Alex? You like sitting on fences, don't you? What about a movie about the Civil War in America, friend?
Oh. All right, 0%. Our
movie?
first
Yeah, no
ever
dad.
0% dad movie. This isn't a dad movie. We failed as a
Nothing
podcast.
dad about this.
All right, you know what's worse than a non-dad movie? Negative Nancy's. All right, it's time for the Negative Nancy of a week. Amanda, you said you picked 3 just in case we
I
picked
picked
one of them.
3 just in case. Yeah, in
Okay.
case you picked 2 of them.
All right, we'll go first then.
Yeah.
I will do mine. So I have a factual error here, and it says Daffodils and bluebells are visible, which suggests that it's spring, but Harper plucks a ripe apple from a tree, which only happens in autumn or late summer.
That was on my list. Yes.
Fucking nerds. I
Nerds.
love that we didn't touch on the apple either. Like very
yeah.
Adam and Eve pilled at the beginning of the. I was like, oh,
Immediately,
We're
she
we're doing
picks
an
the
apple.
She picks the apple, and he's like,
Too
oh,
much.
he's like, oh, you picked an apple. You mustn't do that.
Something.
Mustn't do that. Forbidden fruit.
even
He even
Jeff-
says it.
Like,
He says it. Forbidden
Drumming?
fruit.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's like, hey, we're on the nose here.
Maybe the apples were LSD, and that's what created the Rory Kinnears.
Yeah, she had a bad apple,
All right.
and then she was attacked by bad apples.
Yes, fair.
Oh, hey, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Alex Garland, I'm a genius.
Alex
Oh.
Garland's like, hey, one rotten apple spoils the bunch, you guys.
Oh, I'm a genius. Okay. Harper spends time shouting in tones down a long tunnel, waiting for the tones to echo back so she can harmonize with them. But as the tunnel has no back wall, the sounds would just continue away from her and wouldn't bounce back.
You
Shut up.
did pick my other two. I'm
Shut
so
up, nerd. Oh,
Got an
not
Echoes expert.
you, the person who wrote that.
Yeah,
Oh.
the one that I went with is while Harper is being chased by Jeffrey in the car, you can see the wheels have different rims from the ones you see in the shot when he crashes the car into a stone wall. And I just want to know who was looking at the car wheels.
If you're paying attention to rims, if you watch a movie and you're paying attention to errors in rim consistency, that's not what would be blooming at this time of
No.
year. You're watching movies incorrectly.
I have worked as a script supervisor. I notice continuity errors. And you know what even I'm not looking at when I'm watching a movie? The rims on tires.
Oh, these
So-
people. Something needs to happen to these people.
So, Amanda, in the Con Air episode, someone was so dutiful and pointed out that when Dave Chappelle's body is propelled from the plane, that it is in fact not Dave Chappelle hitting the car, but a dummy that looks like Dave Chappelle.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No.
Someone put that in Goofs, and I think it had a lot of likes. I'm almost positive. People upvoted that. They were like, "Thank you for pointing this out. I can't
Oh my
believe it.
God.
I can't believe they would make this error."
Oh my god.
And that's how I found out Dave Chappelle doesn't do his own stunts.
Oh my god.
People, it sickens me how people watch movies.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Wow, I love
Oh.
that because it's just no shit. It wasn't actually him.
Yeah, like, have you ever watched a movie before? IMDb poster.
We're not like killing our actors intentionally.
Oh God, people. Okay, let's cheer things up a bit. Dad jokes. I'm gonna go.
Dad jokes. I've got a good one.
first. Okay, I'm gonna go first because I got a really bad pun. I got two really bad puns in a row.
no.
Bigger puns.
All right.
Oh, no.
I came down with a really bad case of meningitis, but I cured it with a nice dose of Jesse Buckley's. It tasted bad, but it worked.
I hate you so much. You said you had another one?
No, just that. It's
Oh, it
two
was just
puns.
the-
it's
okay,
it's
okay.
two puns in one.
I do have two. One's more of a roast and one is a play on words.
What you got?
Okay. What do you call a man who lets a woman mind her own business?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know. I haven't met him yet. And then I just have a tagline for men. She's going mental.
It's a good tagline. If it were a black comedy, that would be a great
Be a great
tagline.
Yeah.
That'd be a
you're
great
right.
tagline.
Is
A
it real or is she going mental?
That's a great
We should just-
tagline for a black comedy where one man plays all the characters.
Which is not the movie we just watched.
We should just write a Tucker and Dale versus Evil version of Men
We should
and use that as a tagline.
we should remake
That would be-
Men like Topher Grace remakes other movies. Just re-edit it into a comedy.
Oh my! It could be re-edited into a comedy actually pretty easily, I think.
I love Topher. I love him even more for that. He's good. He's good. I've got a quick one here. After watching Men, you'd be perplexed to believe that all Alex Garland movies are bad, and I'm here to say, not all movies.
Oh my god!
I think you meant hashtag not all movies.
Hashtag, I'm sorry, I forgot the hashtag. I'm an aging millennial. The hashtags are going away for me.
I think we're young millennials. We're like the end of the millennial.
Oh, I still feel old.
Oh, you don't feel like a young up and comer when you hear people talking about Skibbity Riz?
Skibbity Riz. Someone told me I had Riz. I had a student tell me that I've got the juice.
Oh my god! Wait, Nick? What's your day job?
I am a program coordinator for university. I've always worked at university, so I used to be like an advisor for college athletes, and so I was very up on the lingo. I was around the young people all the time. Not as much as a program coordinator, but I see these kids walking through the halls. First of all, everyone dresses like fucking Darcy now from that 1990s cartoon. I was like, what the fuck? Why are y'all dressing? Daria, there it is. Everyone dresses like fucking Daria now. And it's just so confusing. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I feel so old now. I'm like, what are you doing? That was your mom's. That was your grandma's outfit. What are you doing?
You're bringing back the low-rise jeans, which I don't need to ever. I'm never wearing it again. No way.
Me neither. Not happening.
No.
Have jorts made a comeback yet? That's what I'm waiting for.
No, that's never happened.
Not jorts.
It's happening. It's gonna happen. Everything comes back.
Everyone across the board, myself included, like short gym shorts are a thing right now. Like in fact, I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it. They're very comfortable though. Like I thought they would be riding. No, very comfortable. Very, very comfortable.
And this is an ad for short gym shorts.
And they're cheeky too. My shorts are cheeky.
I don't think you want them to be cheeky. Okay, usually we spin the wheel now, but we have a guest, so I thought of a new fun segment just for guests.
Oh shit, I wasn't ready for this.
I know, I didn't tell anybody.
No, it wasn't on my breakdown.
No, because it's better if it's a surprise. Now, as we all know, I assume we all know the Proust questionnaire, but did you know? I've heard it both ways.
All right, Sean Spencer.
Sure.
But did you know his dad also had a questionnaire?
Oh no.
That's right.
No, I did not. Was it in search of other lost times?
It's the Proust dad questionnaire. It's his dad's questionnaire, and this is completely real, and I didn't just make that fact up. His dad wrote a questionnaire, as you will see by these very legitimate questions written by his dad. I'm going to ask you 15 questions.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's fine. Just give me quick answers, and you will then be known as how dad you are, because even women can be dads.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Question 1. Do you think you could land an airplane in an emergency?
No.
Okay. No. What is your favorite action movie?
Roadhouse, the original.
Okay. What's your favorite television show?
Oh fuck. TV shows. What do I watch?
You can say
White
nothing.
Lotus?
Okay.
Let's go to White Lotus right now.
Okay. What is your number one remote drop movie? It's when you're scanning the channels, you see a movie,
and I will totally put it on.
Drop the remote immediately.
Silence of the Lambs.
And we all know why.
The lava beans.
The lava beans. How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
So much more now that's become a thing about what people talk about their Roman empires are.
Have you ever watched a movie standing up? And if so, what was the longest you lasted before sitting?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt, probably a good 2/3.
Oh, do you remember the movie?
No, I've done it a lot, actually. I'll just be standing and I'm watching the thing. I do it more with TV, to be honest. I definitely watched a lot of episodes of Criminal Minds standing, just yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure movie?
I'm not going to say Con Air.
You can say Con Air.
It's not, because I'm not guilty about liking Con Air. Con Air is amazing. What do I feel bad-ish about liking? I don't believe in guilty pleasures.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
If you were stranded on a desert island, what movie would you want with you?
Blue Velvet.
If a loved one was kidnapped, which movie character would you most emulate while attempting a daring rescue?
John Wick.
What is your favorite movie quote?
God. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Uh,
No, what did Miggs say to you? Multiple Miggs in the next cell. He said he hissed at you. What did he say?
who is the coolest movie character?
Wayne from Roadhouse.
Is there a movie scene that always makes you hold your tears in because crying is for wimps?
Anyone can cry.
Favorite dad joke?
No. No, I have to think of one on the fly. Hi tired, I'm dad.
It is a classic.
Yes.
What most unpopular movie opinion?
I definitely have unpopular opinions.
This is a
What's
safe
something that's
space.
classic?
We will not
I'm
judge you.
trying to-
Just
Well,
the
I'm
listeners
because
will.
Just Steve
yeah,
Buscemi.
totally. Just Steve
Hi, Steve.
I'm trying to think because I definitely have things that I
Doesn't have to be
I
most
hate.
unpopular. Just something you want to get off your
No,
chest.
I'm
trying to
excited for
think.
this. I'm excited.
because I'm so no, I'm just so like vocal. I don't know what I hide is the thing. I mean, I've come hard after Joker, the original, the Todd Phillips movie. I don't like that. I think that's stupid. I think that is basically men. That is men, actually. That is a man you would walk away from on the street and immediately.
Okay, last question, and maybe the most important question on the entire dad questionnaire. What is the best Tom Cruise movie?
Ooh, huh. Okay, I really like The Firm. I
It's a good
have
one.
issues with the last act because it becomes the Tom Cruise action movie, but I still like it, but I really like how tense it is for the first few acts.
That is a good
It's
one.
just very unsettling. Yeah,
Not a lot of people talk about that one when they're discussing
I
the
really
cruise.
like that one. Yeah, I really like that one, and I've seen a lot of his, but I really like that. Yeah.
I'm writing it down. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I believe he's now older than Wilford Brimley was in that movie.
Jesus.
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I don't know what kind of deal he made with Xenu, but good for him.
Oh no, actually, you know what? You know what my biggest controversial, insane hot take is? It's about Roadhouse.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear
Yeah,
it. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
I think, as I mentioned, it's the best neo-Western. It is a commentary on toxic masculinity. That is that the entire movie is, and it is lambasting the John Wayne movies. That's my biggest hot take.
Ooh.
I have an entire thesis on this.
There's not enough people calling out John Wayne, so I'll
Yeah.
accept it. I'll
Marion.
take it.
His real name was Marion.
It's Marion.
Fuck him. He was such a racist.
Oh.
Marion, let's go have some tea.
Yeah, that's my hot take.
I don't think John Wayne would have liked men.
No, I don't think so either.
No, he would have watched it and be like, "We don't do that."
I mean, like,
But
women
secretly-
should know their place.
He would have watched it and be like, how come she hasn't apologized yet?
He would watch it and be like, wait, she's married to a black man? I can't watch this movie.
Punches the TV.
She should really apologize for stabbing that monster's hand. It looked like it hurt a lot.
Oh, okay.
I love that we all attempted John. So wait, so you just asked her 15 questions. Do we have results now? Did you computerize the results?
How dad.
Look, that's for the universe to decide. Okay? It's for
There's
each
nothing worse.
it's for each listener to individually analyze and make their own dad assumptions.
Okay, listeners, I am wearing an AC/DC t-shirt right now. I'm just gonna add that.
Yeah,
But-
that scores some points on the
Yeah,
dad scale.
yeah.
But the answers
Mhm.
themselves, your dadness is now known.
Okay, great.
Yeah. However the listeners and Steve Buscemi interpret your dadness, that's up to them.
Oh my god, I really want to know how Steve Buscemi interprets my dad. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Matt, are we spinning the wheel?
We are spinning the wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Right.
What is left on the wheel?
Left on the wheel is Aliens, Field of Dreams, Crimson Tide, Hitman, and It Follows.
Almost all good movies.
I like how you say almost.
Almost.
Amanda, what would you
Yes.
like the wheel to land on? What would you like the wheel to land on?
Field of Dreams, because it came up earlier that one of you had never seen it.
That's
I
true.
really don't want it to land on Field of Dreams.
I
It's
figured
true.
you didn't.
I have never seen it. As soon as my dad found out about this podcast, he was like, "You gonna watch Field of Dreams?"
Actually,
like-
I think it should be Hitman. That's definitely a dad movie.
Yeah. I told my dad I've never seen Field of Dreams. He goes, "Oh, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. It's such a good movie."
And
Can we
he's
stop
actually, he has
talking?
a line in that where he says that no one actually, like, there really aren't hitmen anymore. That's not true. I've had cases where people hire hitmen.
They're out there, yeah.
Yeah, they're real.
It's fucking scary. There's a reason cops still do stings for hitmen because
Oh, I
people
have
hire hitmen.
VHS footage of one.
Of like a
those stings.
sting operation.
Of a sting, yeah, it's the only VHS in my apartment. It's a sting operation with a hitman.
That's more dad points right there.
Wait, so hang on. Hitman are available to the public, is what you're saying?
I mean, I'm not telling you how to find them. I don't know how to find them. I know how to find VHS footage of sting operations.
But they're available to the, because I assume when he says that in the movie, he's talking like, yeah, well, Hitman are probably just like a mob thing.
No, this was not mob at all.
Like you can just
This-
be a regular person and be like, I'm gonna hire a hitman.
You gotta speak in code though, like, hey, I need someone to take the fishes into
I need-
the ocean.
I
Yes,
I
but
heard you
in-
paint
in this-
houses.
In this case, they met, I think, playing neighborhood baseball.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
There's too much baseball talk. The wheel's gonna land on Field of Dreams if you guys keep talking about baseball.
I'm gonna laugh so
In
hard
the
if it
wheel.
lands on Field
In
of Dreams.
the wheel.
All right, as always, I do the wheel sound effect myself. So
Anything but Field of Dreams.
It's Field of Dreams, isn't it?
it's Field of Dreams.
Hey, I said I'd come back for It Follows. I do not have to be here for Field of Dreams.
Oh,
Nick
come
just
back,
walked
Nick.
away.
Nick walked away. He walked away. Oh, there's his little
Oh,
shorts.
he's the short shorts. They are short. Nick, your
Oh.
shorts are short.
They're cute. They're cute, and they're like ice cream man colored.
Shirt. No, I like them.
And like this hoodie's like from my football days, and it's like big enough to be my boyfriend's hoodie or sweatshirt or whatever.
Oh,
You're actually, yeah, you're really trending. You're dressed like the youngins.
I'm comfy. Hey, comfy is in again. We get to dress comfortable for the next 5 years before the trends change.
oh, Nick,
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, the movie you didn't want landed on the wheel.
I just have to stop putting it out into the universe. I really do.
You should just start. You like counteract it. Be like, I really want it to be this movie.
last wheel
For the one
spin,
you
he
Should do
audibly
a
was
vision
like,
board.
he audibly was like anything but men.
Yeah, you have to be like, I really want it to be men. Almost like reverse psychology.
Field of Dreams is just bad. It's just bad. It's bad.
Is it bad? Is it
Like,
bad?
it's-
Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it recently, and does it make you cry? Yes, it makes you cry. But it's
How
just-
bad? How bad could it be if it makes you cry?
It's so cheesy. It's so
So
fucking.
many things make you cry because they're emotionally manipulative, and you think about it, and you're like, ugh, fuck that.
Like Field of Dreams is like the most phoniest, and I'll save it for the episode. It's the most phoniest baseball movie. Like the most realist fucking baseball movie ever made was Moneyball, because Moneyball is like, no, this is cold and calculated, and everything we're doing is full of shit. But we're gonna spin the wheels, and we're gonna use data to really fucking take the humanity out
Actually,
of
we
the
already
sport.
spun the wheel.
Well,
it's
yeah,
Field of
we already spun the wheel, but I think Moneyball is just the best baseball movie ever made, and Field of Dreams is just fucking. It's a trap.
Well, Matt's never seen it, so
Man, have you seen Field of Dreams?
no, I really don't want to.
It's so fucking manipulative, and it's pre Yellowstone Kevin Costner just being fucking a guy that lives in Iowa. And no, Iowa's not heaven. Even if you're a dead ball player playing on a baseball field that some lunatic built in the middle of this cornfield, Iowa is not fucking heaven.
Is there some like Missouri Iowa beef I don't know about as a Canadian?
No, we're both terrible. Like it's the Family Guy meme with the Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal where they're arguing who's better, and their dad steps in and is like, kids, you're both terrible. Missouri and Iowa, both equally terrible. Fuck. Amanda, you're coming back for Field of Dreams, right?
I said It Follows.
And your dog's coming on for All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yes, yeah, I'll just hold him up, and you'll have to I guess take video because he does not make much noise.
You'll have
He's
to
a
translate.
pretty quiet dog.
We'll
yeah.
get something out of him. We'll get something out of him. Steve Buscemi will get something out of him.
Yes. Should we say goodbye to Steve? Like, thank you for listening, Steve.
Thanks,
Goodbye, Steve Buscemi. Thank you for listening, as always.
My
Go to
fiance
bed.
literally stepped out of the bedroom to ask if he should come hold the dog up to the screen.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
The answer is yes.
Oh my god, it's just like
Yes.
the picture I have.
Fantastic.
Oh,
really
he's so
looks like the photo.
adorable. He's adorable. He looks like, oh my god, he looks like he'd be like in an Adam Sandler. He'd be the dog in an Adam Sandler
know.
movie.
He's also really good. I go, Buka, look. Buka, look. Well, now he's looking at me. But you can do like Bucatini look and he'll look for a camera.
Oh, he's screen ready.
He's adorable. He's ready to go.
He's
Oh,
cute.
he's
really
he's
cute.
ready to be in the next Buscemi picture.
Buscemi
Yes.
original.
Steve Buscemi and Bucatini.
Buscemi and Bucatini.
Bucatini.
Bucashemi.
This kind of
What?
sounds like a Dunkachino.
Bucashemi?
Bucashemi. It's gonna be in the next Sandler film. Coming to you. Coming to you.
Yes.
And Jill,
Burn this.
Coming
No,
to you.
this should never see the light of day.
Jack and Jill 2.
Coming to you
really
straight to
hope-
Netflix.
Coming to Netflix.
I really
Netflix.
hope that this somehow makes its way to Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi,
Amanda-
if you listen to this or any episode of this, please contact us.
Call our agents.
We love you. We just don't love Con Air.
You are a treasure. Con Air is not. We love you. You did nothing wrong. You did what you could with what you were given.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda, this has been a treat. It's been so awesome talking with you.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
has been
This is
great.
much better first guest than our friend Johnny would have been. Suck it, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Hey, Terminator 2, we're never going to do it.
Yeah, John. Oh, I love Terminator 2.
Matt's never seen it. Matt has never seen it.
I've seen 1 and 3.
Just like me with
Why?
Hellraiser.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
this is really weird. That's really weird. No one's like, you know what you gotta see? 1 and 3.
I
My
saw
hot take
3
on that,
first
3
on television.
3's not that bad.
I didn't dislike it.
That's what I've heard.
I didn't
But
dislike
it's
it.
not 2.
No, but I saw 3 first. And then I went back and saw 1, and I've never gotten around to 2.
2 is amazing. 2 is really good.
Yeah, 2 is really good.
2 is another movie I saw way too early as a child. And I remember, what's the Liquid 1 T1000?
Yeah.
Terrifying. The scene with the step parents, terrifying. I was like, oh my God, that just happened. I have to pause the movie and go scream in the other room.
So I do think I prefer number 1.
Yeah, number 1,
There's
like
a-
the horror elements of it.
Mhm.
And I like Michael. Is it pronounced Bean?
Bean, yes. Mr. Bean.
Yeah, I
Mr.
like
President
him.
for-
There's a sexiness to that movie.
But yeah, Johnny, we're never doing T2, so move on, Johnny.
It
Move
has
on.
to be spun on the wheel.
Amanda, what was your movie called again, and where can
Oh,
people
yeah.
find it?
It's called Perfectly Good Moment. It's streaming for free on Tubi. You can also rent or buy it on Amazon. If you like it, please give us 5 stars on Letterboxd or a very high score on IMDb. Please give an 8. Apparently they filter out 9s and 10s, which is really weird. Yeah.
What?
I know. Yeah.
And please
This
don't
will be part of how a lot of things get review bombed on IMDb.
please don't submit any goofs for this movie. There are no goofs, and you are a nerd.
We will beat you up if you do
Yeah.
goofs on IMDb. Well, actually, you know what? It says she's 19, but she was born in like 1983, and you know, like the winter, the way the calendar works is just that. No, none of that
yeah,
shit.
the goof could be, they say 1993 is her birth year, which, because this movie came out in 2024, it puts her at 31 now, but they're saying she's 27 in the movie, and you know why that is? Because we filmed it when I was 27. We filmed in 2021. That is why. Yeah, it is. So it's called Perfectly Good Moment. You can watch it for free on Tubi, rent or buy it on Amazon. Yeah, if you were really underwhelmed by the ending of Men and you wanted her to fight back, if you ever watched 9.5 Weeks and when she tells him off at the end, you think, yeah, but I want more of that. Or if you watch Last Tango in Paris and you think, oh, I like that she kills him at the end, but I wanted more of that revenge. Or if you really like Hard Candy, or if you're now thinking about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend every time she says revenge, then Perfectly Good Moment is for you.
Should dads watch this movie?
My dad's seen it.
Oh. Did
My
he watch
dad
it?
saw it in theaters.
So he didn't watch it standing up, I hope.
No, I was standing up actually.
Oh,
I was standing by the door. Um, yeah, you know what? There are definitely some elements of the 90s erotic thriller, and dads definitely like those movies. So yeah,
that is
it is
true.
kind of a dad movie. Yeah.
Excellent.
Plus there's like a little bit of well, I'm not gonna add what there's a little bit of, but it's definitely pro dad, yeah.
Pro dad. That's what we love to hear on this show.
Fantastic. All right.
It's pro
Dad
dad.
approved.
And then if people wanted to keep up with you online, is there anywhere they could keep up with you as well?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Amanda Jane Stern.
Awesome. I'm also glad you called it Twitter and not X. That's the new litmus test.
I will not call it that.
I'm on
is-
Blue Sky now, so Twitter is my ex.
No, I won't give him the satisfaction of calling it that. It's his stupid pet project. He won't call trans people by their real names. So why the fuck should I call his like pet project bio website by the stupid porn letter he likes?
I saw someone
Is
say
that what it is?
I saw someone say that the reason he keeps doing those stupid jumping jack jumps at events is because he's trying to make X his brand.
Oh my god.
Like the
You
letter
can't-
X is his brand, so he's fucking jumping like an
No.
X.
Ty West should sue him.
Yes.
A24
Yes.
should
Yes.
sue him.
Oh,
A24's got fuck you money now. They're doing
Yeah.
that Death Stranding movie, so they've got fuck you movie now. Fuck you
A24
money now.
sue Elon Musk for X.
the Cards Against Humanity people are suing him.
Yes, they are.
That's
Good for them.
incredible. I hope they win.
Please.
It's because he infringed on land that they.
Yeah, that they own. So I
Yeah.
think I'm not a lawyer, but I think they have a solid case.
Yeah, no, they really did own that and still do own that land. And
Yeah.
it wasn't like land it was land that they were keeping to keep as a safety so that nothing could be built on it kind of thing. And he started building on it.
I don't think he
And he
built
doesn't
on it. He just like moved like some like junk onto it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is anything that he builds.
It's true.
Yes.
That's where he put
Everything
the
he
X sign
touches.
after they made him take it down in San Francisco.
Yeah, he's just a weird man obsessed with a porn letter.
He's just
God,
a
if I
weird
had a-
man.
If I was a billionaire, you would never see my ass on the internet. You would never hear from
I
me.
would-
I know.
I would be on an island in a bunker watching movies until I die.
Yeah.
I
like,
would be
if I had
Howard
that
Hawks.
much
I would just
money,
disappear. I'd be a hermit.
I would also just like I would randomly fund cool things, not even putting my name on it. Just be like, oh look, cool like indie movies that want to be made, indie like interesting music. Oh, that seems cool. Just here's the money because there's too much. Like I have too much money to know what to do with, and then I would just like live in a New York City apartment and be happy.
Yeah, if you're a billionaire and people know who you are, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
They all want to be Lex Luthor. They all were reading Superman comics or watching Superman media, and they're like, that Lex Luthor guy, people like him. I'm going to be Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
It's not enough to be rich. You have to be popular too. Like, get
And
fucked.
Lex
he
Luthor's
liked Dolly Parton
smart.
instead. He liked Dolly Parton instead.
Yeah, open
Yeah.
a theme park.
Yeah.
Send my kids books in the mail every month.
Exactly. Help impoverished kids learn how to read.
Yeah.
Fund vaccine research.
Yeah.
She's the one who funded the Moderna vaccine.
Now, well, you know what Elon's funding. He's started a brand of clothing, Dark MAGA. It is Dark MAGA time.
Oh,
It's like it sounds like a bad arc in Dragon Ball Z.
what a
Sounds
fucking
terrible.
loser. Every time he talks, I feel like I'm listening to a 12-year-old with no friends.
Also, we should deport him. He
really
overstayed
should.
his visa. He's not what he doesn't want immigrants to vote. Well, buddy, you're an illegal immigrant.
Friendo, listen.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of here.
wow.
You're exactly the ones that we don't want. You're not contributing anything to society.
Well-
In fact, you're a blight on it.
You know what Elon Musk is an example of?
What?
Men.
Ah,
He brought it back. Holy
put it back to
shit.
the men.
Holy shit.
Oh,
That's a
but-
good button.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Men, 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 manly men.